Check, check. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. So this video, it'll be a long one. We're gonna talk about the whole dark night of the soul thing. Like I said, it'll be a long one, so if you want to stick around, that's cool. And if you don't, that's cool. To put some context to it, when we're talking about the dark night of the soul, if you're not familiar, we're talking about a spiritual awakening. So this isn't just like a thing that you experience, but this is a process. So you'll hear a lot of people and they be talking about like their dark night of the soul experience lasted for 5, 10, 20 years. I mean, some shit can stretch out like what I'm about to tell you. Like, this was probably a period of probably 5 years or more, right? So I'm just going to talk about certain instances and certain like key moments and just different things that I experienced in this process. And it wasn't too long after till I realized like this is the process that I went through at that time. Whenever I started learning about the dark night of the soul, and when they started explaining what this is and what it refers to, then I was like, oh, I know the exact fucking period of life that I can link to this. All right, so let me hit this. We can get into it. I don't know if it's going to be a teaching moment, though. Let me say that, too. Like, I don't know if you're going to get anything of use out of it. Like, I can just share what I went through the first time. I don't know if I had went through, like, this shit a couple of different times in life, or if it was just one long drawn out motherfucker that I couldn't really decipher between. Anyway, in my early 20s, I was in the streets. I was trying to be a gangster. I was living all fucked up. Like, the way I was handling people was just fucked up. Just like my mind wasn't right. So I'm in the streets and I'm dealing with all the shit that comes with that. So at this point of life, like my physical world started spiraling. And then my mental world started spiraling. So shit, where do we start? At some point during that time, I can't figure like an exact event or moment, but somewhere during that time, my early 20s, I started feeling like I was being haunted. And this point in my life, I didn't know anything about nothing spiritual. I wasn't into spirituality. I wasn't trying to get into it. I had absolutely no interest or knowledge of anything spiritual. Like, I was just like the average person. Like, because the average person is not into this shit. So, but I would be alone. And the times that I would be alone, and it was like, it didn't matter. Like, it didn't matter whether this was in the middle of the day or the middle of the night. It got to the point to where anytime that I was alone, I just started getting that eerie ass creepy feeling. You know, like that feeling that you're not alone. The feeling of being watched type shit. Every time. And it was heavy. Like, it was scary. And that was the shit that started turning my attention, opening my mind to wondering, like, is this spiritual? Am I being attacked? You know what I'm saying? So it got to the point to where I was afraid. I was afraid to sleep. I was afraid to go to sleep at night. I remember telling my homegirl this at the time, and she just laughing. I remember it pissed me off because I was telling her this shit, and I told her that I was scared to go to sleep. And I remember she busted up laughing in my face. I mean, we young shit, we still kids for real, but whatever. During this time then, one night at my baby mama's apartment, and I used to tell my baby mama that her apartment was haunted, or that it was a ghost in there. I was like, man, that's a ghost in here. And the reason why I was telling her that is because every time I was there alone, it's like just little shit would start happening. Like, just randomly, I could just be sitting there and just randomly, like, one of the dolls, like the baby dolls of my daughter in her room, because she like two or three at this time. Like, one of her toys, like, just would start talking, like, randomly out the fucking blue, right? But this would never happen when other people around. This shit would just happen, like, when I'm there alone. I remember a night, not a night, this was during the day. I was laying in the bed taking a nap, and the way the bed was positioned, the headboard was like up against, it was right here by the window pane. I'm taking a nap, and I just hear this tapping on the window pane right next to my head, like right next. Like, I can't mistake it for anything else. And it's just tapping, just like clear as day. I remember I got up and I was like, man, I know I'm not tripping. Like, it's a ghost. There's something going on. But like I said, that should have happened like just anytime I was alone. So, back to the story. One night, I'm in my baby mama's apartment. House is completely dark. It was me, her, and our daughter in the next room, in her room. House is completely black. And it's completely silent. Everybody's asleep. I remember at this exact moment, I was asleep and I was having a nightmare. This nightmare that I was in a house with some other people, that we was in a house and there was this demon in the house and we was running around trying to get away from it and shit, right? I'm having this nightmare at this time, and then I wake up from the nightmare. When I wake up from the nightmare, I don't wake up and get up. I don't sit up. I don't roll over, nothing like that. All I do is open my eyes. So I'm laying there and I open my eyes. And then as soon as I open my eyes, all I see is this black silhouette of what looks like a person coming into the room, coming through the doorway. So I'm just laying there because my initial thought is that we was getting robbed, right? Like shit, we was in a little sketchy neighborhood and shit. It was a lot going on back in them days. So I'm laying there at first and I'm thinking that shit, somebody done broke in the house and about to rob us or robbing us. And I watched the figure come in. And then it walked over in front of the TV. And like I seen, like, as it walked in front of the TV, like, you know, the TV was blocked, my vision, until it got past, and then I could see the TV again. The TV was off, but, you know, when you walk in front of something, like. And then it went over by the closet door, and then when it got to the closet door, it just, like, faded away, right? So it faded away, but then just as quick, it was like boom, and it was a face directly right in front of my face. I was seeing it. Now I know that it was in my mind's eye. It revealed itself to me. It was in my mind's eye. As far as the face, the figure, that was in the physical room. But the face, I thought that it was in my physical face at the time, but knowing now, I know, right? That I was seeing it in my mind's eye, but it was as if this motherfucker was right in front of my face, and it was just a face of a person. It was an old black lady with like some white paint, like her face was painted white, and she had these big ass eyes, big white eyes, but they was just a whole bunch of red veins and shit all through them and shit. And she just sat there and just stared at me and didn't blink. And I just looked back, and then after a moment, it just whatever. And I remember I lay and I reached over and grabbed my baby mama and shit. I was terrified. So I'm like, so this is all this shit is going on in life at the time, right? So I'm like, man, I literally felt like I was going insane. Like, I didn't know. I was like, man, either I'm under attack or I'm going crazy. Like, this is one or the fucking other, right? I'm like, because I can't tell, like, if this shit is real or not. Like, if I'm really going through this shit, or, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm just losing my marbles and shit and need to go get some medicine or something, right? But, what else? Like, shit, bro, there was so much going on at the time. Another moment then was, all right, so it's a night I'm asleep at my mom's, in my mom and pop's crib. I'm in the back room, sleep on the bed. And so during this time, I've always experienced sleep paralysis since I've been a kid, but during this time, like, sleep paralysis was like, that shit was on another level. Like, every time I went to sleep now. Excuse me, if you not familiar, typically with sleep paralysis episodes, when you wake up and then you can't move, and typically you start panicking and then start immediately like having a nightmare or something. Think somebody's killing you, you see somebody sitting on you, or walked in the room. Is typically just like something horrible you're about to experience. So I was going through that a whole lot at the time, right? And this night that I'm asleep at my parents' house in the middle of the night, I wake up because it's just like I'm getting tortured. Like, I just feel like I was getting tortured during the day in my physical life. I'm getting tortured when I try to take a nap. It's like When I lay down at night to go to sleep, I'm getting tortured like I just couldn't catch a fucking break, it seemed like. So that night when I'm asleep, I wake up and I don't see nothing, but something just feels incredibly off. And I remember I was just laying there and I was just like, damn, I can't put my finger on it. But right now, something is just off. And then I realized that my leg was being held in the air. And like, that's what was the awkward ass feeling that I was feeling. And then as soon as I look down or try to look down to see, then like, you feel a hand grab my neck, right? And then it starts to go into the whole sleep paralysis episode. But I calmed down enough to where I didn't just go through the whole drama of, I calmed down enough to where I kind of stopped it and I chilled out. And from previous times, I had it on my mind that I was like, see, the next time that some shit like this happens, I'm going to speak. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to ask what it is that they want, right? Because at the time, like I'm saying, I don't know whether I can't tell the difference whether I'm tripping, if this shit's really happening, right? If this really is some spiritual shit, or if I'm just tripping. So I had it made up in my mind that if I reach out to talk to a motherfucker and start asking them questions, and if I start getting responses back, like some rational responses, like an answer to these questions, then I know I'm not tripping. So when I feel like somebody holding up my leg and then I start panicking and I chill out for a second and I get my, I collect my shit enough. I'm like, man. And I said, what did I say for? I said, what is your name? Clear as day. The female's voice, I still hear a voice from times now whenever now I know for sure. Like I know 1,000% now that I wasn't tripping. But then this is at the beginning, right? This is the beginning, my introduction to the whole spirit world. Like that's what I'm telling with all this shit. And it came in a fucking terrifying way. So, the voice, when I said, what is your name? This female's voice replied to me. And it wasn't a whisper, but it was like a person's talking quiet, like if a motherfucker was telling you a secret. They just talking low. And her reply was, I have several. And I'm like, okay. Then I said, what do you want? And then she just giggled at me. She said, I said something else. I don't remember anymore. Oh no. It didn't last long after that though. She said a few things and then I think I just fell back asleep or some shit. So that was the first time that I could recall, like hearing and talking to a spirit, like real life. Other than being a kid, as kids we do that shit just naturally, like it's nothing, like normal. So yeah, so after that experience, I'm like, no, okay. So now I know, like that. this ain't just my mind tripping. Like something's going on. I tried to talk to my homeboy because he was the only person I knew to talk to. He was the only person that ever talked about like any spiritual shit. And he used to talk about the shit that he was going through. Because he'd be on the same shit. But he'd been like that for years. He's been saying he'd been haunted for years before that. And like he been had stories. But I didn't have no stories up until then. So I used to try to talk to him about it and asking him what to do and shit. And looking back at it, like shit, he didn't know what the fuck to do. Because he didn't ever like get a control. He didn't ever get a grip on it for real. He just, I guess he kind of did because he got to the point to where he could just, he just accepted it. So anyway, my process was quite a bit of that. Then I'm trying to think what else. Let me see. Okay, so fast forward a little bit. My homie telling me, to get closer. You got to get closer to God and all of that shit, right? I'm going crazy, so I'm like, all right, it's spiritual war or whatever the fuck going on. I'm under spiritual attack. I need to get right with God. All I gotta do is, I end up getting a gold, or this female, she ended up getting me a gold necklace with a cross on it. Because she knew what I was, because these stories, she'd heard them back then in real time. So I start rocking this cross, and it's a dude. He was out in the hood giving cheap ass raggedy tattoos, which was one I got, and it was a tattoo of a cross, and it said "God bless." And this was literally, I got that just as a symbol. This came from what I was going through, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tattoo it on my body, but this is the reason. Though the tattoo is just raggedy as hell and I didn't know no better, but it does take me back to that point in my life, because this is the first point in my life when I set out to find God or to get some kind of connection with God. Long story short, so when you're talking about the dark night of the soul and shit, when I say, and this is all love, the end result, almost any depression, like if you really take like the gem that comes from it, like with really any type of depression, like out of that shit, like you should have found enlightenment on your way out, because typically enlightenment is going to be the only way out of that shit, or some kind of acceptance of something, right? It's like something major, some kind of moment, some shift has to take place for you to come out of that low space, right? So that marks the point in my life when I first set my sights on trying to build a connection with God, and it just came from spiraling out of control. Like I said a few things, but like this shit was a whole bunch of things, right? And when the spirits came in the mix, like that shit just came, like shit didn't just get straight right then though. Like I was still going through all of this shit, and really I just started going through a bunch of shit, having to deal with it in my sleep, right? Whenever I was shut down this conscious world, then that's when I really just started going through shit after night, and shit started getting more real. Yeah, shit was getting wild. Um, shit. Let me think. And yeah, so it was this one dream, and this is one that sticks out to me. Um, I'm at the hood apartments and shit, and it's nighttime. And I'm out there all by myself, and it's raining. I think it starts raining, and I'm the only one out there, right? So it's all these apartments. I'm the only one out there, and I'm walking down the sidewalk, and I'm scared as fuck because I just remember saying, "He's here, he's here." I'm thinking the devil is here. He's after me. That's where I'm at, right? And I remember, so I start running. I start running, and I start running up to this one of the childhood friends. I run over. I turn to go down this breezeway, and one of my childhood friends' apartment, and she had her door open. So I'm running, trying to get to her door to get in the apartment, and I just remember saying, "He's here, he's here, he's here." And as soon as I get by this door, this tall ass black figure, this motherfucker just grabbed me by my neck, picked me up in the air, and slammed me hard as fuck to the ground. I'm talking about I felt that shit. He slammed me hard as fuck to the ground. And as I hit the ground, it was just this super loud ass sound of thunder. Just sounded off at the same time. And then I open my eyes, I wake up. And I mean, shit is sunlight outside and shit. But I still don't quite know what to make of that. But it definitely was something going on. But it was actually something good. Like, that was a good omen. Like, yeah. So I went through a lot of bullshit like that, but then the shit start turning around, shit start getting, that shit start to fizzle out. Life changes, things change. And then, seemingly complete random, I'm asleep, right? I'm asleep one night. It's like I wake up, I open my eyes. I'm laying in the back seat of a car. I open my eyes and I'm looking around. I'm noticing I'm in the back seat of a car. And I'm like, man, what the fuck am I? And I look up and it's a person driving the car. I had a chauffeur. It's a chauffeur driving the car, an old style car, and the whole thing was just kind of like old style. Like he was wearing a black hat, like some throwback shit back in the day. Like back when TVs was still in black and white. And he's driving the car, and I'm looking at him, and I'm looking out the windows and shit. And it's just like a big ass city. But we're coming down this hill. We're high, and we're coming down this hill. So on this hilltop, it's like I could see the whole city. And there was a whole bunch of houses, but it was all looking the same, right? It was real repetitive. The roads was made out of gold and marble. At the time, I never seen nothing like it. Like, the beauty was crazy, right? So we coming down this hilltop, and then we pull in these apartment complexes. But everything was just immaculate. He stops. He comes, open my door for me. I get out the car. First thing I do is get out of the car and I drop to the ground. I start to feel the ground. I want to see what it feels like. I want to see if it's real. Because I'm asking myself once again, Nigga, am I tripping or is this shit real? What's going on? And I feel the ground. I'm like, man, this shit is real than a motherfucker. And I look at one of the apartments and I run up the steps. And I'm feeling like, man, how is this shit? This shit is real. I open the door, I go in the apartment. I'm seeing the apartment laid out regular. Let me get this. Yeah, so I go in the apartment. I walk in. And I remember first, I'm feeling like I'm intruding. I don't know if I'm intruding, you know what I'm saying? Am I breaking in somebody's shit? Because I don't know. Like, I'm just like in awe, right? Because I know I'm dreaming, but I'm in awe of like how real this shit is, right? And anyway, I go in the apartment and I remember saying like, it's me. I was like, it's me. And then a female voice responded from out the kitchen. And she's like, oh, hey, or whatever the fuck. Like, the scenario was this had to be my chick, right? Like, that was the dynamic. Then I started walking to see her. And then I think I just caught like her backside or just a glimpse of her when I come around the corner. And then I wake up. And that was the first, like that right there. Made all that other shit worth it. All that bullshit, all that feeling like I'm getting haunted, seeing all of these strange ass shit, right? It felt like it all led up to that moment. That moment right there, like shit, it's been on ever since. Like, yeah. Anyway, where we at? 32. Do I got anything else? Yeah, so I end with this and wrap it up. When you come to that place in life, right? If you seem to hit a dead end, whenever it seems like you ain't got nowhere else to turn to, turn to your spirituality. Go within.